Hello, friend. I truly appreciate you taking the time to watch this. If you feel like subscribing, it would mean the world. But let's get straight into it. The air in the room was thick with a sweetness that bordered on cloying. That same vanilla scent Lauren always lit around 3 p.m. on Fridays, her little ritual. Faint jazz hummed from the kitchen speakers, so soft it nearly blended into the walls. To anyone walking in, the scene would seem peaceful, even idyllic. But for Marcus Taylor, peace was the last thing today would bring. He was supposed to be at work. A client no-show gifted him an open afternoon, and he thought he'd make the most of it. He planned to swing by Gold Mango and grab her favorite silk tie, grab takeout from that Thai place she loved, and maybe, if the stars aligned, they'd curl up for a midday nap, something warm, unhurried. He didn't call, he didn't text, he wanted the surprise. He walked in with quiet steps, lunch in hand, and a small, satisfied grin tugging at his mouth. But instead of warmth, he was met with stillness. Unsettling stillness. Even Baxter, their ever-hyper golden retriever, barely looked up from the floor. No tail wagging, no excited bark, just one of Lauren's heels, unmistakably hers, lying sideways at the foot of the stairs. Marcus froze, an ache blooming deep in his chest. No creaking floorboards above, no familiar "hey babe" greeting. Only a strange, low sound, a breathless rhythm. His body moved on instinct, feet climbing the stairs before his brain caught up. He wasn't afraid, just confused, until he pushed open their bedroom door. There she was, her legs wrapped around a stranger, a man Marcus had never seen. Muscular, dominant, lost in the moment. They didn't notice Marcus at first, not until her eyes locked onto his. Shock widened them. Her mouth parted. But it was the other man who spoke. "Yeah, baby, I'm the man." The rest happened in flashes. Marcus didn't register the takeout crashing to the floor. Didn't remember crossing the room. One moment the man was inside his wife, the next he was a heap on the carpet, naked, dazed, as Marcus dragged him off the bed like he weighed nothing. Lauren shouted something, a plea, maybe, but he couldn't hear her. The fury inside him screamed louder. His fist landed once, then again. Blood splattered the wall. The man whimpered, scrambling for anything to cover himself. Marcus didn't let up until he'd shoved the intruder out the front door, bleeding and bare. Neighbors watched. A toddler burst into tears. Dogs barked. Lauren stood trembling at the top of the staircase, clinging to a bedsheet, her face streaked with tears. "Marcus, wait. I can explain." He didn't respond. No shouting, no questions. Just silence. He stepped into the kitchen, picked up what remained of the meal, and dropped it into the garbage. The jasmine tea bottle shattered, glass glittering in the bin like the remnants of trust. Lauren didn't follow him down. Maybe she knew better. He walked through their home with mechanical focus, packing a duffel bag, a hoodie, socks, his charger, passport, a photo of his late mother. Baxter trailed him, confused, tail tucked. As he zipped the bag, Lauren appeared, voice shaking. "Please, just let me talk." He turned, voice low. "I'm not here to debate. You chose. Now I choose." She cried harder. "It wasn't like that." "You invited him into our bed," Marcus said, almost a whisper. "Into our life." At the doorway he paused. His voice sliced the air. "Did you think I'd pretend this didn't happen? That I'd just swallow it down and smile? You were wrong." And with that, he left. No slamming doors, no parting scream, just a silence so deep it left her colder than any fury could. He didn't go to his brother's place, didn't call Jake, didn't reach out to anyone in Evanston. He disappeared deliberately. He knew one sympathetic voice might unravel him, and he couldn't afford that. The heartbreak was still fresh, but the rage gave it structure. He drove without a soundtrack, no music, just the whir of tires and the soft buzz of his phone vibrating. Lauren, again and again, missed calls, voicemails, texts. He ignored them all. Eventually, he pulled into a humble studio rental near Lincoln Park, perched above his old friend Trey's garage. Trey didn't ask questions. Marcus didn't offer details. That's how he wanted it. Inside, he got to work dismantling the life he'd built with her. He opened new accounts in his own name, transferred savings, froze shared funds, canceled credit cards, mortgage auto-pay, streaming subscriptions, changed every password. Bit by bit, he cut every thread. She would feel every silence. Then came the beach wedding renewal, months of prep, a curated moment for her feed, her fantasy. Marcus called the coordinator, canceled it all, lost the deposit. But the bride just confirmed the menu, the planner said. Let her know it's off, Marcus replied. The next day, he walked into the law firm where he'd given nearly a decade and handed in his resignation. His supervisor blinked in disbelief. You're 6 months from partner. Marcus smiled calmly. This place doesn't fit anymore. He meant it. While Lauren had been building her image online, Marcus had been diving deep into crypto, long nights of study, research, and analysis. He never mentioned it, not even to her. Now, he had enough stash to start over, cleanly, quietly, not out of revenge, but control. He didn't want destruction. He wanted clarity. Lauren had crafted a flawless digital identity, perfect wife, radiant soul, saintly energy, everything filtered, every post manicured, grow together, glow together. Marcus was done with pretending. He vanished from the online world. No updates, no stories, just silence. Lauren kept posting, old vacation shots, smoothie bowls, mirror selfies. But something was off. Her brightness dulled. Comments dwindled. Something in her eyes didn't reach her smile. Then Marcus set phase 2 in motion. He remembered the security camera he'd installed by the bedroom for porch deliveries. Still rolling, still recording. The footage wasn't graphic, but clear enough. Her voice, his breath, a symphony of betrayal. He matched the video with text messages, the one that haunted him. You're not like him, Aaron. He doesn't see me. You do. He compiled everything, organized, dated, precise, no emotion, just truth. Then he sent it, not to the public, but to the people who mattered. Her boss, who constantly praised their company's Christian roots. Her church group leader, who once called Lauren a walking example of grace. The illusion didn't implode with fireworks. It cracked and crumbled, the slow unraveling of a carefully constructed lie. To the man who had always put integrity above all else, her father, a former Army colonel, she sent just one email. No message in the body, just a subject line. You have a right to know. After hitting send, Marcus shut down the burner phone and waited. By the next day, Lauren's Instagram went dark. On day 2, her Facebook disappeared. By the 4th, mutual friends began sending him clumsy, uncomfortable texts. Bro, I don't even know what to say. I'm sorry. Her employer issued a vague public statement. Mrs. Lauren Carter will be taking a personal leave, which of course was corporate speak for she's being quietly sidelined to contain the fallout. Then came something no one saw coming, an email from Colonel Daniel Shaw himself. Yes, the same man who once growled, "Hurt my daughter and you'll answer to me," was now reaching out directly. I misjudged you. I'm ashamed of her. Thank you for showing restraint. Marcus never responded. He didn't need to. His silence was louder than anything he could have said. Lauren called. He didn't answer. She followed up with a message. Marcus, please. Tell me what you want. What did he want? He wanted her to choke on the same silence she once served him with a smile, to feel the sting of every moment she laughed in someone else's arms. He wanted the shiny, manufactured image she lived behind, full of filters, fiction, and self-delusion, to collapse under its own weight. And that was exactly what was happening. When he saw her next, she was almost a stranger. Nearly a month had gone by since he walked out, 30 days of missed calls and unread texts. And in that time, the woman who once breezed through life on charm and curated perfection now looked like someone clawing her way through the wreckage of her own making. It happened outside a cafe near their old place. Marcus had stepped in for a simple black coffee. She was walking out, gripping a lukewarm latte like it was the last thing tethering her to reality. Their eyes met, and for a heartbeat, everything slowed. She looked hollow. Her eyes were ringed with exhaustion. Her bare face betrayed a fatigue that makeup could no longer mask. Her hair, once sleek and styled, hung limp in a messy, neglected bun. She looked like sleep had become a stranger. Her lips parted to speak. Marcus walked right past her. "Please," she whispered behind him. "Marcus, why are you doing this?" He paused, turned halfway, not out of pity, but to ensure she saw how unmoved he was, how completely detached. His voice was calm, even. "Because you never thought I'd have the strength to leave." Then he walked away, leaving her standing on the sidewalk, surrounded by strangers, looking like a woman who had just lost everything. Because she had. Well, almost everything. There was still Aaron, the man she'd risked it all for, her so-called upgrade. And Marcus wasn't done. Aaron Whitmore, self-styled fitness guru, wannabe influencer. His feed was a highlight reel of shirtless gym pics and hollow motivational quotes: grind, hustle, repeat. He ran a podcast no one listened to, sold overpriced workout plans ripped off from Reddit, and pretended to be something he wasn't. Marcus had done his homework. He built a fake Instagram profile, believable down to the details. A fit, attractive woman new to Chicago, recently single, looking for a trainer. Aaron bit instantly. "Hey, beautiful," his DM read. "Glad you found me. Got a couple openings this month if you're down to train." Over the next week, Marcus reeled him in, a mix of flattery, flirtation, and just enough vulnerability to keep the hook set. "You seem like the kind of guy who really gets women. Most don't." Aaron ate it up. His replies got bolder and sleazier. "Bet I could teach you things your ex never even dreamed of. You need a guy who knows how to take control, in and out of the gym. Wish you were here right now." Screenshotted, saved, documented. Then came the mirror selfie, shirtless. Caption: "Just for you. Time to pull the trigger." Marcus compiled everything into a concise, brutal PDF, just like he had with Lauren's messages. But this time, the file had only one recipient: Lauren. Subject line: "So this is who you chose. Send. Log out." The voicemails started that night. The first came at 1:17 a.m. Her voice was cracked, frantic, stripped of the polished sorrow she once used like a scalpel. This was different. This was real. "He cheated on me, Marcus. He used me. I didn't even see it coming. I feel so goddamn stupid." The next message was quieter, shaken. "I gave up everything for someone who didn't love me, but you did. I'm sorry. I should never have. I'm so sorry." Marcus didn't respond. Not because he didn't feel anything, but because he had already felt it all. He was finished giving her what she never gave him: grace. The world Lauren built had always been a house of mirrors, beautiful but fragile. Filtered photos, forced smiles, and illusions of perfection. Now it was collapsing. Her upgrade had downgraded her. Her job was on the line. Her social circle had all but evaporated. Even her closest friends were ghosting her. One of them had outright blocked her. She was alone. Not admired, not envied. Just alone. Because Marcus had done the one thing she never thought he could. He let go. He didn't burn her life to the ground. She did that all by herself. Her once flawless image, crafted in golden light and fake smiles, was now a fractured reflection, and the harder she tried to piece it back together, the more it broke apart. The narrative she clung to, devoted wife, savvy professional, charismatic darling, was dissolving faster than she could rebuild. She stopped posting, stopped pretending. Even her signature laugh, the practiced, breezy one she used for brunch photos, was gone. Her face looked sharper. Her shoulders slumped. Her walk, once confident and buoyant, had turned into something hesitant, heavy. No longer the effortless glide of a woman adored, but the tentative steps of someone trying to remember who she used to be. Meanwhile, Marcus was thriving, not in a showy, curated way, but in the quiet, grounded way that mattered. No posts, no statements, no need to perform. He had found the thing she always denied him, peace, and that was everything. Around that time, her social world began to crumble, bit by bit. Tasha, her so-called best friend, the one who helped plan their vow renewal, went silent. Not out of loyalty to Marcus, but to protect her own brand. Toxic energy didn't fit Tasha's positive vibes only aesthetic. Old college friends, Cassie, Jen, Layla, slowly untagged themselves from throwback photos. The group chats went quiet. No invites, no brunches, no girls' nights or winery weekends, just silence and regret. And the worst part? She had no one to blame. Marcus wasn't gloating. He wasn't sharing screenshots. He wasn't telling his side. He had simply vanished. And in the end, that was the coldest, most devastating revenge of all. By that time, Marcus had moved across the city, finding solitude in a sleek, open-concept loft overlooking the Chicago River. The apartment was a sanctuary, streamlined, serene, and miles removed from the turbulence he once called daily life. He built a rhythm that suited him, advising budding entrepreneurs, mentoring dreamers through virtual platforms, and losing hours walking the lakefront with his dog, Baxter. He spent slow afternoons tucked away in cozy bookstore alcoves, nursing dark roasts and revisiting novels that had gathered dust on his mental shelf. For the first time in ages, he wasn't performing. He was just being, free, honest, undisturbed. No masks, no forced intimacy, no veiled obligations or love that came with fine print. Just peace. That peace unraveled on a rainy night, interrupted by a knock, abrupt, insistent. The rain traced lines down the windows, a soft, constant tapping. Another knock followed, firmer this time, edged with urgency. When Marcus opened the door, there she was, Lauren, soaked to the bone, trembling. The dim light painted her in ghostly shades, like someone who'd wandered too far into regret and lost her way back. Her makeup streaked down blotchy cheeks, her eyes swollen from crying. The designer coat she once wore like a shield was gone, replaced by a damp sweatshirt, old jeans, and a heaviness that clung to her. "I shouldn't be here," she whispered. I didn't know where else to go." Marcus stood still, silent. She moved closer, cautiously. "Please, just 5 minutes. I'm not here to explain it all. I just need to say what's been rotting inside me. I know what I did. I know what I ruined. I'm not asking for another chance. I wouldn't even know how to take it." The silence between them stretched thin, taut. She swallowed hard, her voice catching. "But if any part of you remembers the way we used to be, if there's even a flicker of the love I once gave you, before everything shattered, please tell me how to fix this." Marcus looked at her, really looked, and something shifted in his expression, barely noticeable. Not pity, something closer to recognition. She wasn't pretending anymore. For once, she was just herself, raw. He exhaled and slowly shook his head. "You're not here for closure," he said. "You want rescue, but I'm not that person anymore." Her eyes welled again, spilling tears that mingled with the rain as his words sank in. He picked up an umbrella, held it out. "Get home safe." The door didn't slam. It shut softly, deliberate, final, just like the first time he walked away. And again, silence said everything anger couldn't. But the story hadn't ended there. Even after the fallout, Lauren had held on to one final thread, her new project. A boutique startup she'd been assembling quietly. A bid to rebuild, to reshape, to return in a different light. Marcus stumbled upon it late one night. It was still in its soft launch phase, a wellness brand grounded in themes of renewal, sincerity, and rebirth. The irony wasn't lost on him. She was attempting to market recovery, to brand redemption, as if she could reframe her collapse into a mission statement. The name was Haven Within. A carefully curated blend of serenity and reinvention with gentle hues and tranquil branding. Her captions read like affirmations. Healing is messy, begin anyway. Marcus almost respected the boldness. She had burned everything down and tried to market the ashes as self-growth, but he knew better. This was her last play to steer the narrative, to win back attention, regain dignity, reestablish relevance, disguised as evolution. What she didn't realize was that Marcus had anonymously invested in the very digital infrastructure supporting her brand's debut. With a pseudonym, he had back-end access to everything: metrics, audience behavior, traffic. He didn't sabotage her. That would have been too loud, too obvious. Instead, he withdrew, quietly, precisely, one connection at a time. The podcast feature, scrapped. The Wellness Summit keynote, pulled. The angel investor who promised to scale her platform. That was Marcus, too. Gone now. Within days, momentum faltered. Sales dried up. The chatter disappeared. Collaborations dissolved. Lauren posted one last video, her face weary, voice small, announcing a brief pause for rest and self-reflection. But it wasn't brief. It was the finish line. Marcus never watched the whole thing. He didn't have to. By then, he was living in Austin, working with a nonprofit dedicated to mental health recovery. He was mentoring people who had lived through ruin and still believed in rebuilding. This wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about real purpose. He walked Baxter through sun-warmed neighborhoods twice a day. He was dating again, carefully, honestly, with someone open-hearted, someone untouched by old scars. Eventually, he told her the truth. Not every raw detail, but enough. And when she said, "You didn't ruin her, you just stopped protecting her from herself," he felt something shift inside. That was healing. And healing, he realized, was the deepest form of closure there was. 3 months after Lauren's final post, an email slipped into his inbox at 3:41 a.m. He almost deleted it without opening, but something stopped him. Curiosity, maybe, or compassion. No subject line. Just a message. Stark. Unfiltered. "Marcus, I don't know where to begin. I've written this 100 different ways. You owe me nothing. But I need to say this. You were always the strong one, and I couldn't handle that. I think I was terrified of how small I felt next to someone so steady, so real. So I ruined us before you could leave. But you didn't fight back. You didn't lash out. You simply walked away. And that quiet, that absence, hurt more than anything else ever has. I see it now. I see what I destroyed. And I'm sorry. I don't want absolution. I just hope you're at peace. You deserve that. And I'll spend my life trying to become the woman you once believed I was capable of becoming." Marcus read the message twice. He didn't cry. He didn't grin. He just breathed. Then he hit delete. Because her healing was no longer his responsibility to carry.